as per the prescription here. And if you want to learn more, and then you can go on interested in doing hospital pharmacy, then there are option to go there also. The other option is doing research. You can go into pharma industry or a biotech industry or a consumer healthcare industry. There you can work as a product scientist or process scientist. It's up to you, like what your interests are. If you are interested in learning more about chemistry, then you can do a master's degree in chemistry and go for an early development. Or if you are more interested in doing a formulation work or the process work, then you can do in a product development part. And you can, if you have a degree in pharmaceutical sciences or formulation sciences, that can help to go in there. And if you are really interested in doing instrumentation or the analytical side of things, then you can go into into an analytical side of the business, and you can work as an analytical scientist. The new upcoming things are cell and gene therapy. That is another option. Is for like biotech guys, and then again consumer healthcare. There again you can work as a scientist, formulation scientist, or a product development scientist. Another part for directly related to pharmacy, that is production, and where you can work in a global manufacturing site, as a production scientist, or you can go for a quality assurance or a quality control role. It's similar like, in India where you have a pharma industry, there you can work as a quality control scientist and or a production scientist. But it's more stringent here. You need to have certain experience. But yeah, as a fresher also, after you finishing your studies here, you can join, and then you can get the relevant experience. And there are other job options which are not directly related to the pharma degree, but there are other options where which are useful. I just mentioned, academic research, clinical research, where you can go. Medical sales representative, that's another good option. It's not like back in India, where it's not, you don't find it really good, but this is here, the medical sales representative. That's a really, really good option. You get really good money there. Like it's a good job. And regulatory affairs, if you are more interested in just doing more of a documentation, and if you know of ICH guidelines, then this is the other option. You can go for regulatory affairs. And then science writer, if you are interested, you have your experience and you want to go into learn more about writing skills. You have better writing skills, then you can work as scientific writer. Maths is some people, they have passions for math or stats. That is another one of very good upcoming field. Biostatisticians or chemometrician, they do all the analysis, statistical analysis for the pharma industry to just develop the right product. That is another good option. And last but not the least, I think again management. I think that's, if you think you are good in management, and I think that's another really good option. You can go for a management thing, and if you have a relevant experience, then that's a good thing to go for management. And that can be anywhere, in a pharma industry, in a consumer healthcare industry, in a biotech industry. And remember, one thing I just want to say, remember that many employers, they accept application from graduates with any degree subject. In India, back in India, like if you are a pharmacist, only then you can go into pharma industry. So that is not clearly how it works here in UK. Even if your degree is not directly related, but you have relevant experience, industry can still take you. I have seen like engineers working as a formulation scientist. Once they gain the experience, they can come in and then work as a formulation scientist. And let me just go to what are the different study options here. What are the study options in UK where you do a master degree in pharmaceutical sciences, which is broad degree, where you get all the, you can study formulation, development, you can study analytical. There are different modules which you study in pharmaceutical sciences. So that's a broad experience you get, or academic experience you get. So that's one option. Formulation science, if you just want to just study purely formulation, that's another option. Formulation sciences. Analytical sciences. Regulatory sciences, where you learn more about what are the regulatory requirements for FDA, for MHRA, or different countries in the world. Everyone has their own regulatory requirements. So you can learn more. Biotechnology you can do is just where you learn more about, cell and gene therapy, and you know more about there, and biostatistics. If you are interested, you can do master in biostatistics. Medicinal chemistry, you can do master in medicinal chemistry, where you learn about early development. Organic chemistry, and again management, you can go do a course in management, maybe international business management. That's a good course. And the good part with UK, I think UK studies, like I have seen, initially when I was planning to go to US, but then I thought it's 2 years masters, and there's a very difficult task to get settled there. Finally I choose to come here, UK. Here the master is just 1 year degree, not too expensive. It's reasonable compared to going to other part of the world. It's reasonable cost to go and come here and do a master's. And the good thing now is, it's going to start from this next September. Like anyone who's going to pass out after June 2021, they're going to get a 2-year work permit, which is a good, very, really good option or opportunity for someone who can come here. After study, they will get a 2-year work permit. And with that, you have so many opportunities. Once you start working, your employer can hire you for further doing work for them. And then eventually, there is an option to get settled here permanently after working for 5 years. And I mentioned the fee is not too much. I know it's like, it seems much, but I think when you look at the fee in other countries, it's reasonable. It's between around 13,000 to 18,000 pounds, and it's a 1-year master degree. And one of the other thing you can do is you can come here and you can do a registration as a pharmacist, but for that you have to do a conversion course. So basically it's a 1-year conversion course. Few universities here in UK, they do that. But for that, there are certain requirements which you have to fulfill. Like you need to have a IELTS score of 7 band overall, and 7 in each module, whether it's writing, reading, listening. All the 4 modules, you need to have a 7 in each. And you need to have a bachelor degree in pharmacy. You need to have a very good standing certificate. When you need to have a registration pharmacy registration certificate back in India, and then you need to get a certificate from the regular, the relevant authority there, that you are in a good standing. And then again, your degree transcript from your university or the college where you study. And once you do that, 1-year course, and after that you need to do some training. It's a post-registration training where you work in a pharmacy to get more actual practical experience. And once you do that, there are a certain number of hours which you need to work in a pharmacy. So once you do that, then the next step is to give the registration exam. That's actually a final exam which you give. Once you pass, then you can get registered here as a registered pharmacist, and then you have the option. Then you can work in a community or a hospital pharmacy. It depends what your aspirations are. And then another option, which is a pharmacy technician option. This is not directly, you can come here to do this course here in UK, but yeah, this is an option. If once you do your masters here and you have a 2-year work permit, and if you get the option to just work in a pharmacy, then you can choose to do this course. This is a 2-year part-time course which you can do while working. So that working is required for this course. You need to work in a pharmacy, and along that you can do this 2-year course. And once you finish that, there are regular modules which come from time to time by the relevant authority. They send it to you. You need to finish that modules and send it back to the authority. And once you pass that, then after 2 years you will get a registration certificate, and then you can work as a pharmacist technician, registered pharmacy technician, either again in community or in the hospital. There are other options, like once you come here, you study here, you have that 2-year work permit. But there are few other options there. Apart from that, there's one option which is a tier 1 visa, which one of that is exceptional talent visa. If you are already a pharmacy graduate or a master's done in India, and you have certain number of research paper, you excel in your field, then you can choose this exceptional talent visa, and then you need to basically send your research papers and all the relevant documentation that you are expert in that field to authority here in UK, who will just look at, they check your certificates, and if they think you have got exceptional talent, they can give you a exceptional talent visa, which is for 5 years, and once you work on that, you can apply for a residency. Another thing is, entrepreneur visa. Here you need to have a business plan, and minimum you need to have is 50,000 pounds, which you need to have in your bank account, and which you which you can show that you can spend that money in UK to just get settled here. I think that's another option here, but again, you need to have a business plan for that, and need an endorsement from one of the UK authorities, regulatory body, to just for your work plans. Another thing is tier 2 visa. At this moment, is what it is. Once you have finished your study, you have your 2-year work permit. From next year, a new thing is starting. That's the point-based immigration system here in UK. So basically, for that, this is really important thing you can consider. When you're working, you got 2-year work visa, and you are working for an employer, and if that employer want to keep you, they cannot give you a job offer after that, and then they can do a tier 2 work permit for you, and that once you are on a work permit for 5 years, then you can apply for a permanent residency there. So that's another good option, I think. Once I know student think, oh, I do a study, then I have a 2-year work visa, what after that? So it's a really good option here. So once you do have your 2-year work permit, you already have an employer, they can do your work permit for you, and then you can get settled here after working for 5 years. Yeah, few things, like I know, like when I came here 15 years ago as a student, like I think things were very difficult, because there were so many challenges you face, and agent back in India, they don't prepare you. They just, they when you go to them, they just tell, okay, do this course, do that course, and you just follow what they say. That is something, the mistakes we guys do there. So I think you need to be very careful what they say and what you want to do. So basically, it's you need to do a little bit of work to find the right agent who can guide you, who have knowledge or understanding of what you want to do, like where are the best option for that particular study. Because I think that is the key, whether what your aspiration are. Well, because I think I have seen, like you go to an agent, they say, oh yeah, do this course and go. And then if it's your responsibility to inquire more about it, to understand fully what it contains, what that course is, whether that's good for you. Second thing is, you need to ensure that it has the right location, because like UK is not just a very small country. It's a big country. Comparative to India, it's small, but still it's still big. And there are areas where you can get admission, but then again, it's difficult. You get part-time jobs when you're a student. So you need to be very careful about which location you're going to go and study. That is a key part. And then again, one thing is, I know agents, they just charge you fee, and then they play with the money. So make sure you pay your own fee, whether it's to the university, whether it's your visa fee, or whether it's a health search or anything. You should pay directly by yourself. Never it give to the agent, because they just play with that. And only one thing is, just the one medical test which you guys need to do is just the tuberculosis or an X-ray test. They do X-ray, and they give you your certificate. The doctor give you a certificate, and you are free of tuberculosis. That is just medical what you need, nothing more than that. And again, if you are married, you got kids, and you want to come here as a student, you can bring in your dependents with you. There is no restriction on that. But there's something you need to show, you have enough money to just stay here without resources to the public funds. If you have that, you can show that, you can bring your family, your wife or your kids along with. and you can apply at the same time when you're going to come here on a student visa, so they don't have to wait, you know. And another thing I think is the post landing services. You know, if there is some agent who can provide that, that is good, because that is very useful. You know, once you land here, a different country where you know no one, and then them, if you have some support here who can help you just to find the right location to live, just to guide you how the systems work here, whether it's traveling or where you can get the Indian food, Indian groceries. And I think these things really help. The other thing is registration with the doctor, opening a bank account, things like that. That is, I think, very helpful if you are somewhere, like me and my wife, we both are from India, and we came here to study. I had a very different experience. There was no one for me to just who came at the airport and pick me up, and then I had a really difficult issues. I've I had many problems getting settled here initially, but whereas with my wife, like, she had someone who had picked her up from the airport and provided her all the information which she needed initially. So I think that is, that you need to look for. That is important. Yeah, I think that's from me. I don't know, Parag, if you want to add anything to that, and if not, then yeah, if you have any questions, yeah, please go ahead.
No, I think so. That's almost most of it is covered. The important, I think, the takeaway message should be due take due diligence. Get out onto Google, do research the universities, research the course you are interested, research the prospect of that course, then apply or then start doing application process. It's very important. Yeah, I think so. That's the important bit. But if you got any questions uh, now or even afterwards, just you can contact any of us. We will be more than happy to help. Questions if you got any.
Participants, you can ask your question in chat window, or if it is required, you can also turn on your mic.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi,
Hello,
good evening.
sir. I have one question. Like in UK, there are most of college are providing 1 year master course or some providing 2 year master's course. So it is beneficial to taking a 1 year master course over 2 years.
I think it depends. There are some courses which is just 1 year where you just finish your master degree in a year, where you also do a project work. But there are certain courses which are 2 year, but that 2 year course also provide you an option to just to work in an industry. That is in a part of the course. That's a 2 year course. So it's up to you. Like, you can avail that, but then again, I think it's your it's up to you what you want to do. But I would say that 1 year's course is much better. The quicker you do your masters, the quicker you go to get your work permit, and straight away you can just get a job. You can look for a job, and once you have the job, and then you work good with the employer, and they can give you work permit. Otherwise, you can go for a 2 year course, but then you have to wait for another 1 year to get your 2 year work permit. Because the one which is like a sandwich course, where you get the opportunity to work in an industry, you will get very limited pay there. They don't pay you fully there, like the minimum they will pay you for during that time. So yeah, it's up to you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Parag, one question is there from Yagnisha. Can we
Uh-huh.
do farm D thereafter doing B farm here?
There is, yeah, it's a good question, but there's nothing like Farm D here. Farm D is basically for US. Here, what you need to do is, once you finish your bachelor's degree, from there you can come here to do a pre-registration course. Like, it is like a 1 year study here. Basically, that is an equivalent study. Basically, you learn more about the UK laws here. What laws are applicable here, and some bit of pharma which you have already studied back in India. But yeah, it's not like Farm D, but it's like what we call here is M Farm. So it's basically 1 year course, registration course, and that is yeah, that's what you need to do.
Yeah. So that 1 year course is actually they term it as a conversion course. So you do your 4 year degree course from India, and if you want to become a registered pharmacist in UK, you have to study a pharmacy course in here, which is 5 years course normally. But because you have already completed your bachelor degree from India, you can become a registered pharmacist in here by doing 1 year conversion course. Plus, you have to do 1 year of registration training. And once that's done, you can do that. So, PharmD, as Rashpal mentioned, there is nothing like PharmD in UK. That's the term for US, I think so. Uh, and all the master's course uh, on the specialized subjects, the specialized department you have, but you you don't have any master's course for following registered, which can help you in as a registered pharmacist in India. Does that help?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Uh,
Does that answer question?
Hello.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I would like
Uh,
to ask which country is best for industrial aspect, like Canada or UK? Which one is good for industrial aspect after Bachelor of Pharmacy in India?
I think it's both. The only difference is I think industry is good in Canada also, in UK also, but the option is I find it better here in UK because like it's difficult to get a direct work permit. Like where you can go and directly work in industry there straight from India. That is difficult and very
Okay.
difficult. Very
And
rarely
sir,
you will.
PR also difficult compared to Canada and UK. In UK, PR is a little bit different and tough compared to Canada.
No, I think that is a rumor there. People think PR is easy in Canada. It's not the case because I have seen here people who went to Canada initially. They think, oh, once you study there, you get a work permit and you get a residency there, and it's easy. It's not. Even once you study there, you have to still fulfill that point system there,
Okay.
and after that, you get the permanent residence. I think, and again, the study is more expensive in Canada. I find it more expensive. Here, UK is just 1 year master. There is 2 year master there in Canada, and I think yeah, after 1 year, if once you're gonna get this 2 year work permit, and that is the good thing. And after that, if you get, it's not difficult to get a work permit here. One, if you are good in study, and you can, show good. You can work well with the employer, they normally do work permit for you, and then I think after you have that, you can get settled here. And I don't know if you guys know about, like, now UK is out of uh, coming out of Europe, so there are going to be much more opportunities here, because I think what that mean is, because now UK is coming out of Europe, that means there are hundred and thousand of people who were coming from UK, from Europe to UK, without we before they were, a visa was not required, but now they will need to have the similar, like, a visa option which we need to do as in Indian. So they need
Indian.
to
Okay.
apply for a visa, and I think it's difficult. They're going to come here like on that, and I think that is a really good opportunity for our guys in back in India. And if they have good degree there, they can come here, and I think they're going to be much more job opportunities.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other
Okay,
question?
Hello.
uh,
Just myself, Dr. Divyakant Patel, and Raspal sir, you have explained really very nicely the different scope of pharmacy in UK, and we were also classmates. Means I'm also a classmate of Dharmesh Bhai in our master degree, and Dharmesh Bhai, really I appreciate you to arrange this kind of webinar so the students and the faculties can understand what are the scope right now in UK. My question to Raspal sir is what is the postdoctoral scope for us people? Means we have completed our PhD degree in India, but we want to postdoc in the UK. So, is there any scope for postdoc, sir? Please.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think there is scope. Like if it depends on in which stream you have done your PhD, and then you can apply directly to the universities there. If you go online, you can see the jobs advertised there, so you can directly apply to them. And the universities, they can do a tier 2 work permit for you, and if they are happy with your research work, and if they know the your previous work and your research papers which you have published, and if they need someone like you, they can take you.
Thank you, sir.
I know, because I know there was one of my classmate back from India. He did bachelor's with me, then he did his PhD from Nipur, and then he came here. He worked for Imperial College and did a postdoc there for I think he was here for 2 3 years directly. He came from India, so there is option there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good. Thank
yeah.
you.
I
Hello.
would just like to add on this that again the postdoc stuff. So up till now, what the situation with postdocs and any doctorate level project work was in UK, that they were mostly sponsored to EU nationals, so whoever within the European Union. But now from next year, when UK is coming out of EU, there will be lot many sponsorship available for everyone. So that's the one thing need to keep in mind as well.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Sandeep. Yeah. Go ahead.
Uh, yes. Good evening, sir. Uh,
Evening. Yeah.
Myself, Dr. Sandeep Dolakia. I'm also working as a associate professor at Shankersinh Vaghela Bapu Institute of Pharmacy, and Dharmesh, sir, who is the principal of our college. Sir, you are nicely explained everything about the scope and opportunity of the B Farm and M Farm graduate at in UK. But there is one question from my side. Uh, as the Divyakant sir asked you, and you can explain very well. But is there any scope or there is any platform for postdoctorate fellowship, or where I can find that there is a these are these are the scope of the postdoc, or we can say the where I can apply in UK?
That what you need to do for that is you need to go into each university website where they advertise their the opportunities available.
Mhm. Is yes
So
opportunity? Is there any platform where I can find that there is a vacancy for postdoc in particular university?
I think there is something, there's some website like New Scientist where you can find jobs there. New Scientist website. There you can find, or I think it's or you have to actually go to each university website. Every university, they do different research,
Yes.
and I think then they advertise, because as Parag just mentioned, before it was very restricted opportunity for our guys, because there were so many students who can come from Europe and can do research here. There was no restriction.
Yeah.
But coming next year, that's not going to be anymore. So our guys from India who has done PhD there, they will have much more opportunities, and I think then even the universities will be less reluctant, like they can easily provide work permit for you guys to come here. The only thing you need is just, I think, you have a good degree and an IELTS score, what they
Yes.
need.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Any other questions?
Uh, Hello. One question is there from Jainam
Yes.
Patel. That is there any exam in UK like TBC as in Canada and NAPLEX in USA?
Yeah, that
So
Yes.
that's what I mentioned there. Like, there's no direct exam. I know in Canada you just need to give two exams as a direct exam after B Farm from India, but in UK you need to do that 1 year equivalency course.
So you have to do 1 year course plus registration, pre-registration training. Once you complete that, then you have to take a registration exam, and and once you pass that exam, then you become registered pharmacist. So that registration exam is equivalent to what you call NAPLEX or GCAP in Canada, or NAPLEX in US.
US.
any other questions they can the participants can ask directly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
sir.
just
One question from Ravi.
Yeah, Ravi.
Sir, is there any option to direct getting a job after Bachelor of Pharmacy in India and after getting a direct job in UK? Is there any chances in industry aspect?
They're very rare. Did you think about, like, industry, how industry work here is, you need, unless the employer know how good you are,
Mm-hmm.
it's really difficult
Yeah.
for them to just give you a work permit. That's why I was just saying, like, after years, once you study here, that 2 year work permit you get, that give you an opportunity to work for that employer, because I think then they don't have to keep you, like, but that 2 year work permit, you are free to work for any employer. So
Yeah, yeah.
that 2 year thing, they are happy to give you a job, because they are
Oh,
not bind to just give you a work permit. That 2 year
definitely.
work permit will help you to get the job. But once
Yeah.
you are working for an employer, they will know how good you are, whether you will be good for the industry or for the team. If you are, then they will keep it. Only at that point, I think, if I am
Depend on
employer, I will
potential.
I
Yeah.
will do that.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and just to add on this, Ravi, that
Yeah, sir.
there are quite few restrictions over in here, that how you advertise your job. So first you have to prove. So any company has to prove that they can't find uh, appropriate individual within European national,
Yes.
and that particular job profile needs to be from the high demand uh, opportunities. So
Okay.
then only they can offer those jobs to outside of European Union individuals. This
Okay.
could change coming next year when UK comes out of European Union. But at the
Union.
moment, this is where it is. So it's very difficult to get direct work permit unless you are in, say,
Extraordinary
technical
person.
Yeah.
IT
Yeah.
field.
And
Okay.
I think there is a pay threshold which is minimum, I think,
Yeah,
30,000 pounds. So
yeah,
you think
Mm-hmm.
about, an
36.
employer is going to hire you on a 30,000 pound. He need to know, either you need to, if you have, really good academic, thing, like if you have a master's or a PhD with a number of research papers
Mm-hmm.
which are
Okay.
relevant to the work they are doing in the industry, then they may consider your application, and then they have a good reason to just say hire you, and then they can
Hire you.
explain why they need you and
Yeah.
what skills you have which they can't find here in UK.
Yeah. Definitely, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
No worries.
So any other questions any participants want to ask? Hello, any other questions or queries? Okay, so I think there is also one question from Dhruva Shah. What is the scope of pharma MBA in UK?
Oh, it's a good it's a good opportunity. That's what I mentioned in the management thing I mentioned. So basically, if you have a pharma degree and then you have a management degree along with a bachelor of pharmacy, that is a good combination, and then you can go straight into the management, because the management can be a supply chain management or people management. Supply chain is where you can manage your manufacturing and the supply of that drug or of product throughout the world. That there you can go in. So it's a really good scope for this. There are opportunities here, and it's a good combination.
Okay, so uh, hope the participants now may not be having a few questions, or if there are questions, they can ask directly in the session, live session. So we'll be just waiting for some few 20-30 seconds. Those who want to ask, they can ask directly.
Or if you don't have a
Okay.
question now, there we have our email address, so you are more than welcome to just email us if you have any other question, and then we will be happy to just answer your questions.
Okay, so one question from my side, that is, and also from one student, means one person, that is Ayush JJ. So in India, there is from past 2 and 3 years, there is in especially in Gujarat and other regions of India, the PCI has started a course like Farm D, that is uh, which has been in USA, as you told a few minutes earlier. There are more questions of Farm D in UK. So
So what so any course you do in here,
thing
any course you
is
do in India or
that is
elsewhere?
hello.
Uh, let me hello.
Ah,
Hi, can you hear properly?
ah, yes, yes. Hello.
Hi, yeah. Can you hear properly?
Hi, Parag, please tell.
Yeah. So what I was saying that uh, it's this thing is universal. So in any country, when you do a particular course, if you go to another country, either you have to uh, give an exam to get recognized for that particular course, or you can apply to different companies for a job based on your experience and your academics. That's universal. So whether you do B pharmacy, M pharmacy, PharmD, or
I
other courses, when when you come in here, UK, if you want